Good morning and welcome back to Football League World TV. It is Friday morning. It's time for the EFL betting show here on the channel. My name is Sam Rourke, the chief editor of footballleagueworld.co.uk, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues this morning to run through some of the best bets in the English Football League this coming weekend. Ned, Holmes, how you getting on?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Obviously, Masters weekend, Grand National weekend. It's got to be one of the sort of best betting weekends of the year, and hopefully part in that.
Yeah, absolutely. A real big weekend of sport for sure. Billy, how you getting on?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. As Ned says, a massive weekend for sport and the betting calendar as well. But we're coming to the concluding stage of the season and things are getting a little bit more difficult, I think.
Yeah, definitely some tough fixtures to call this weekend. We really are in the business end of the campaign now. Just a reminder, we are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. So get yourself in the comments. What do you make of Ned and Billy's selections this morning? Have you also got any bets on this weekend? We'd love to get your thoughts and comments. Right, just a final reminder, please do gamble responsibly. 18 and over. We run through 4 different selections on this morning's show. A banker, an accumulator, a value bet, and a wild card. Let's start off with the banker. Right, Ned, let's start with you then. What is your banker in the EFL this weekend?
I've got Mansfield to beat Scunthorpe at 9 to £25 return, 7.25 on Bet365. Obviously, Mansfield came unstuck against Forest Green in midweek. They weren't helped by the red card in that game, and you know that was just Forest Green sort of grinding out another result as they sort of tightened their grip on the League Two title and promotion. So no shame in that really for Mansfield, and they'll obviously be keen to get back to winning ways with Port Vale sort of opening up a bit of a cushion. And the game against Scunthorpe, who obviously, I mean, they look destined for the drop now. I mean, and have done for a while in pretty poor or terrible form, really. And so this should be the perfect game, really, for Mansfield to get back to winning ways and sort of, you know, get back on track. And I think at decent odds too at 9 to 20.
Yeah, absolutely. I must admit, I'll be very surprised if Mansfield don't come away with 3 points in this game. They do have a game in hand on a lot of the teams in and around them in League Two. You know, a win tomorrow could put them into the automatic promotion places in League Two. So a big game for Nigel Clough's side. There we go. Ned opting for Mansfield to beat Scunny this weekend as his banker. Billy, what's your banker this weekend?
I've gone for Nottingham Forest to beat Birmingham at 8 to 13, and I think it is very hard to go against Nottingham Forest at the moment. They're pretty much up there with Fulham in terms of their dominance, in terms of how good they've been this season, especially under Steve Cooper, and they're just entering that kind of form at the moment that's required to get themselves, you know, into a top playoff spot or even into an automatic promotion spot. We see that opening up a little bit, and I think there is genuine belief within the Forest fan base that they can actually challenge Bournemouth to that second spot, and I think it's a very good opportunity to collect another 3 points. Of course, Sheffield United, Bournemouth is a massive game in that respect too, so they're looking to bridge that gap even more. Looking at Forest at the moment, the confidence within that side is just great to see. Brennan Johnson's just proven to be unbelievable at this level, and I think the interest that's coming in for him is completely justified because he is turned out to be a top player at this level. And you know, there's many more years of this sort of level of performance to come. James Garner as well, also top player, proving himself in the Championship this year, and Keenan Davis also enjoying a productive spell. So there's a lot to be excited about for Forest at the moment, and it's hard to look at their schedule and look at a game where they're going to drop points, because they do really seem a level above most of the teams they're playing at the moment. And at 8 to 13 against the Birmingham side that don't really have too much to play for, haven't really shown too many positive signs in recent weeks. Yeah, I'm sure that Forest should get the win here.
Yeah, 13 goals in Forest's last 4 league games. They really are on fire right now in front of goal, but they are also defensively solid as well, which is a real impressive attribute of that Steve Cooper side. Well, there we go. Billy opting for Forest to beat Birmingham at the City Ground on Saturday. Ned opting for Mansfield to beat Scunny. Let us know in the comments what you make of Ned and Billy's banker in the EFL this weekend. What is your banker this weekend in the English Football League? Send in your comments. Right, let's look at the accumulators next. Ned, what's your accumulator this weekend?
So I've got a fourfold, starting with Mansfield to beat Scunthorpe, and then in second, actually, Billy's banker in Forest to beat Birmingham. As Billy said, all those points he made and what you were saying about their goals, they're on a real roll right now. And, obviously Birmingham got a good result against West Brom, but they'll be without Lyle Taylor, which is obviously as he's on loan from Forest. And I think that's just another setback in what already looked sort of a game that was heavily in Forest's favour. Cooper, I think, will have to make a few changes because third game in 7 days, he's named unchanged 11s and starting 11s both those first two. But I think the quality in depth is there, and they should come away with a win. And I got Port Vale to beat Oldham Vale, one of the informed teams in the EFL right now, as we said, sort of moved into a fairly strong position in third, given a 3-point gap and also their goal difference, I think, so much better than the teams below them that it's almost another point. An important midweek win against Salford, and I think Oldham may have won 2 on the bounce, but I can only really see this one going one way. And finally, Fulham to beat Coventry City. Sky Blues playoff hopes really look sort of gone now after that defeat to Forest, and obviously with a Mark Robbins side, you sort of always guaranteed some fight, but away at Craven Cottage, that's got to be sort of the hardest trip to make in the Championship right now. Marco Silva's side are sort of within touching distance of returning to the Premier League and of course a Championship title, and they'll be looking to sort of tighten their grip once again. So that's Mansfield, Forest, Port Vale and Fulham at 4.27 to 1. So a fiver returns 28.98 on Bet365 with the accumulator bonus.
Nice. I think that's got a pretty strong chance, that fourfold, I've got to say. Let us know in the comments what you think of Ned's fourfold there. Billy, what's your accumulator this weekend?
Yep, so I'm starting with Forest to beat Birmingham at 8-13. As I said, Forest just look unplayable at the moment at Birmingham. It's sort of at the beach and don't have too much to play for and not really too many signs that they can cause what would be somewhat of an upset. Now I've got MK Dons to beat Wimbledon, which of course is going to be a massive game in itself, given the rivalry between the two clubs. But add to that a relegation battle for Wimbledon and a promotion push for MK Dons. It seems to be a really exciting fixture, but it's very, very hard to go against MK Dons at the moment. 42 points in 17 games. It truly has been an incredible 2022 so far. And they're actually in the automatic promotion places now, and they'll be looking to maintain their spot there. And that they've got every right to believe that they can actually go and secure it. And I think it's, again, similar to Forest, it's very, very hard to go against these teams that are showing form at the right end of the season at the moment. I've also got Forest Green to beat Hartlepool. Forest Green, a little bit of a hiccup last sort of few weeks, but they seem to be getting back there, certainly performance level wise. But they'll be looking to wrap up the League Two title sooner rather than later and come up against the Hartlepool side that have shown good signs in 2022, but sort of tailed away in more recent weeks. 1 win in their last 6, and with Forest Green, they really have been looking a level above for the majority of the season. And I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll fold under the pressure this week. I've also got as my final one Bristol Rovers to beat Tranmere. This is the one that sort of brings the total up, and all quite heavy favourites so far. So Bristol Rovers at 7-4 to beat Tranmere. Bristol Rovers have been really, really impressive in recent weeks and spoken about quite a bit about being a level above at the moment. And one player that certainly is providing that is Elliot Anderson. He's looking in incredible form and a player that seemingly can go and win games by himself. Tranmere, for me, have been sort of punching above their weight this season. Defensively been very resilient, but going forward, I think they lack a little bit of firepower. And Bristol Rovers, I feel, will capitalise on that. And all those 4 teams to win is at 11.21 to 1 on Bet365.
Nice, fairly nice sized bet there. There we go. Let us know in the comments what you think of Billy's fourfold he selected for this weekend. Please do let us know. Please do gamble responsibly. Just another reminder: 18 and over. Right, let's look at the value bet next. Neds, where is the value this weekend in the EFL?
I'm down at Ashton Gate, Sam, and two of the worst defences in the division meeting. Peterborough United arrive in BS3, take on Bristol City. They've conceded 147 goals between them in the Championship this season. 75 for Peterborough, 72 for City, and obviously, Posh at this point, a draw doesn't do anything for them. And so they're really going to be pushing, you'd say, for that win. Obviously, Clark Harris and Marriott sort of returning amongst the goals in recent weeks, and Andy Vyman for Bristol City looking to take that tally towards 20 for the first time in his career. And I just think there's going to be goals there. Over 3.5 goals is 7-4, so 5 returns, £13.75 rather, and I think that's a good bet ahead of a game between two pretty leaky defences.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see a goal fest at Ashton Gate as well, I've got to say. Judging off them statistics. Billy, what is your value bet this weekend?
I went for a few of them. I had to cancel a few of them today, but I've ended up with Blackpool to beat Blackburn at 4-1. Blackpool, to me, have enjoyed a really, really good first year. I know the last couple of results haven't really gone in their favour, but I think that they put in a display against Nottingham Forest. I don't think they deserve to run out as 4-1 losers in that game. And all throughout the season, I think performance levels have been there. Blackburn, obviously, they've been playing well in stages as well, but they're not getting the results to justify that. I think that's a theme that's going to perhaps continue into this game. Neil Critchley, though, I think is a very, very good manager who's going to continue to see a lot of success in this division. And for me, even though Blackpool are one of these teams that we consider to be on the beach, they're going to be pushing for a top half finish to represent a brilliant season on their half. So Blackpool for me, they're just a very strong outfit that look to be going from strength to strength. And looking at Blackburn, their goal scoring issues have sort of played a big part in recent weeks. Yes, they're getting Ben Brereton Diaz back, but I don't know if he'll be at full fitness and fully at it like he has shown during sort of the first half of the season. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Blackpool capitalise on this sort of dodgy patch of form that Blackburn have suffered in recent weeks. And yeah, at 4-1, I think that's quite good value.
Yeah, of course, another Lancashire derby there for Blackpool. They lost 1-0 to Preston in the weeks. They'll be keen to get back to winning ways and get some Lancashire bragging rights back. Billy opting for Blackpool to beat Blackburn at Ewood Park on Saturday as his value bet. Right, one more selection from both Ned and Billy next, and that is the wild card. So Ned, you've kind of really hyped up this wild card before the show, before we went live. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's on the wilder side of the wild cards in the sense that perhaps it's more driven by heart than it is head. I think really. It's obviously the Masters weekend. And I'm sure everyone was as happy as I was yesterday to see Tiger Woods back on the course. 13 months after that horrible crash, and we thought we might never see him again. But my focus is going to be on the City ground and not Augusta, and with the hope that his namesake Ryan Woods can find himself amongst the goal scorers. It's 40-1 for Ryan Woods to find the net. I thought about Brennan Johnson, Dustin Johnson, but it's not as exciting, Sam. It's not as exciting. 40-1 for Ryan Woods to score first versus Forest, which, to be honest, I actually think I thought I might get better odds than that, given he hasn't scored all season. At 40-1, Ryan Woods to score first in that game. £5 returns £205. Crazy, I know, but no one would have predicted Tiger Woods to be back for the Masters. And yet here I am predicting Ryan Woods to score first. We'll see what happens.
Like it, very on theme, on trend there, Ned. Big fan of that. 40-1. Stranger things have happened, I suppose. Ryan Woods to score first against Forest this weekend is Ned's wild card. Very interesting wild card this week, but you never know. Please do gamble responsibly on that one in particular. Billy, what is your wild card this weekend?
Well, from a really exciting selection from Ned, I have to dull it down by going for 4 draws. Again, I think this is one that's not driven as much by logic. It's more looking at the games and instant reaction kind of thing. And Sheffield United, Bournemouth, both teams chasing their respective objectives. Bournemouth have a very, very difficult run in, as I said before, and Nottingham Forest looking to capitalise. And you know, they will be eyeing 3 points, but a point against Sheffield United will be a good point, I guess. Sheffield United, I feel they've had a fair few injury blows this season, hasn't really helped their progression in the latter stages of the campaign, but they still have a very strong starting 11, and their bench is still one of the strongest in the division, you would say. The next one is Gillingham versus Wycombe. Gillingham have been really, really impressive under Harris, and Wycombe, again, they find themselves pushing for a playoff spot. So they're in not desperate need, but it's getting that to that kind of point where they need all 3 points. And Gillingham, whilst they've bridged a lengthy gap from the relegation zone, they still need to keep adding points to that total. Then I go across to Monday night, Huddersfield Town versus Luton Town. A very, very competitive game. It's set out to be. Luton have drawn their last 2 games. Huddersfield have proven to be, you know, very competitive in the last games. They haven't blown any teams away, but they haven't been outplayed. And I just feel that the nature of that game seems to be heading for a draw at this stage. And then the last one, Colchester versus Stevenage. Stevenage were quite unlucky in the end to lose out to Oldham. And I think Steve Evans will start to have his impact at the club in the next few weeks. I'm still very, very surprised to see Stevenage slump the way they have done in recent weeks, given the sort of level of the squad and given what they displayed at the start of the season. They come up against the Colchester side who have impressed in stages, but haven't been able to, you know, kick on as their squad would have suggested. So it would be no surprise to see that play out as a draw as well. And for 4 boring draws, I've got that at 129.68 to 1.
Awesome, whopping value there, Billy. Big fan of that. Draw bets, I suppose, do often tend to produce much better returns. Billy opting for 4 draws as his wildcard bet this weekend. Let us know in the comments what you make of both Ned and Billy's wildcards this weekend. Right, well, that brings the EFL betting show here on Football League World TV to a close this morning. Ned, Billy, thanks very much for your selections and your time this morning on this show. Thanks for everyone that tuned in to watch the betting show this morning. If you are watching this show on repeat on YouTube, please do stick a like in below this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We've got so much exciting content coming up on Football League World TV over the coming weeks. In particular, we've got a teammates video with Martin Waghorn and Matty Godden. Really, really funny video to watch. That'll be coming out hopefully later on today, if not early next week. We've also got more exclusive content coming up with players across the EFL here on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed to what we are doing. We've got one more show later on Football League World TV for you at 4:30. Alfie Burns at the wheel for the EFL weekend preview show. So many good games this weekend across all 3 divisions to get stuck into. So plenty to talk about later on. But from myself, Ned and Billy, we shall see you soon.